What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the No Fun League. Right now, I'm just going to do a quick recap of episode 1 of Hard Knocks featuring my New York Giants. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was really interesting. The Jets season last year for, training camp was cool, but other than that, Hard Knocks has been on a bit of a decline, along with all traditional media, to be fair, for the last couple of years. But I thought this was really, really cool. It's obviously like a brand new take, and I'm biased because I'm learning behind the scenes stuff about my team. But stuff that stood off right off the bat, a lot of focus on Saquon and the entire decision. The way that it's framed in Hard Knocks, and why I say it that way, is because the Giants had final editing approval. So obviously they're going to make themselves look as good as possible. Is that, they came to a decision that they were going to let Saquon explore the market, and then he would give them an opportunity to match that offer. Now, they didn't show, what happened in March in free agency, but, it's that's the way that they've set that up. They covered Wink Martindale, just a quick voiceover, a couple, news breaking stuff like that with him resigning, not talking to people. Didn't make him look good, but only spent like 15 seconds on him. And then a lot of it was just like setting up stuff, I think, for the rest of the season, with the Shane Bone being hired and talking about the guys that he wants in his system. I think the coolest part was at the Senior Bowl with Joe Shane standing with Brandon Beane and Dan Morgan, the GMs of the Bills and Panthers, respectively. And when they weren't talking about Joe Shane's 92-year-old grandma having a crush on Sam Hartman of Notre Dame, Dan Morgan just, I guess it looked random in the way that they edited it, but who knows how it came up. But he was like, hey, you want to give up 2 firsts for Brian Burns? And Joe Shane is like, yeah, but like also no. And then Dan Morgan goes, what about a 1 and some other stuff? And when they're having pro scouting meetings in the Giants facility, they're talking about how Brian Burns is going to take a 1 plus some other stuff, or maybe even 2 1s, like Dan Morgan talked about. And in reality, the Giants gave up a second-round pick. So, pretty damn good negotiating from Joe Shane. Other stuff that was just cool, he said Janet Jackson snafus, talking about that halftime show that, people that know about it know. And then also Joe Shane mentioned how, like, the drama last season with signing Daniel Jones, franchise tagging Saquon, all of that took 10 years off his life. And that you don't give $40 million to a quarterback to hand it off to a $12 million running back. So obviously he has a bit of a new age theory in, how to handle the running back position, which once again, as I've said on this podcast, as is out there, Joe Shane took over for an overweight predecessor similar to Joe Biden, and both of those predecessors sucked at their job, and they had to undo a lot of their mistakes before they could build back better. Which, shout out campaign slogan. But that's what he's doing. This show is obviously to make the Giants look good, to make Joe Shane look good, highlight some of the other people involved in the front office. It's cool. Kevin Abrams, who's been with the Giants forever, is a LinkedIn connection of mine just because I was bored one day and just started spamming connection invitations. So that's pretty sick. But overall, I thought it was a really entertaining episode. I can't wait to see what happens next. And yeah, I'll have these reviews, not really reviews, but recaps, stuff that I thought was cool from the episode, stuff that we learned. I also thought that it was really funny that since Dunkin' is a sponsor for the Giants, whenever Joe Shane or anybody is drinking out of a Dunkin' cup, it's not blurred, they're showing it off. But at the East-West Shrine Bowl, Joe Shane is drinking out of a Starbucks cup, and they blurred that. So they don't want to, they don't want to give any free shout-outs, which is really funny. And then the last thing that they spent a little bit of time on was Daniel Jones and his ACL recovery. That personally was cool for me because I've had an ACL injury, and it was cool to see him go through the same rehab exercise that I did, besides deadlifting, because I cannot do that, and that's pretty badass doing that a couple months after ACL surgery. But that's why he's a professional athlete, and I'm sitting in my room talking about what I saw him do. But I thought, his rehab looks to be pretty good. He knows the pressure that's on him. The team knows the pressure that's on him. And they also openly talked about, if Daniel's the quarterback and the injury history and stuff like that. So as the episodes go on, as we get to the draft and free agency and everything like that, I'm excited to see how much thought actually went into drafting a quarterback. trading up for Drake May was a huge storyline the day of the draft for the Giants. So how that went, and Malik Neighbors seeing some of the combine interviews, and how the trade for Brian Burns formulated out. The Saquon stuff is phenomenal for TV ratings. That's what they have to focus on. Personally, that is not what I'm most interested about because, I figured that Saquon was going to be gone at the end of the season. It didn't make sense for a rebuilding team to waste that much money on a running back. Not that he's a waste. No shot at taking at him. However, I hope that he has a really bad season and does not live up to that contract because of the team that he plays for. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Peace.